Well, hello, it's time for a PNN pop-up. It's kind of bright, kind of foggy light in here. But first, let me say, Abbiamo Un Papa. We have a new pope. Which was sooner than I thought it would happen. I thought it would take about a week or so. But I guess it's... Well, they've been thinking about it. Anyhow, after Francis passed, I did read on it, and it was a sigh of relief when I read on it prior to today, because I really felt like we would like the Pope that they chose. So fortunately, that panned out. And I don't want to hear Dumpy try to steal anybody's valor, and he's such an opportunist. He'll make it all about him. But I think it's good. I get that Pope Francis would highly approve and endorse this candidate. I think that he has Pope Francis's vote. So we have Robert, is it Prevost or Provost, who was born in Chicago but spent a lot of time in Peru. So I have this sense about him that he's more Peruvian, South American than American, you know, in a certain way. Let me just read a few notes about this. So it's Pope Leo the 14th. So here's the thing. I sense that he's very similar to Francis. He's younger, which I don't remember how old Francis was when he became Pope. I have to look that up. But I think he was older. Yeah, he was. This guy is 69. We need, every time I would look at the Pope, I'd be like, why do they always have to pick an old guy? Because I'd always feel bad for like John Paul and Benedict and Francis, for as wonderful as, especially John Paul and and Francis was. I don't know much about Benedict. He wasn't there long enough, and he stepped down, which was kind of unprecedented too. But I like this guy. I really do. I think, you know, he knows about the poor. He knows about the problems that, say, migrants have when they have to, you know, leave their home due to whatever, climate change or whatever. And it's about compassion. And it's funny because this morning I was talking about compassion, and this morning I asked you all to pray for that they make the right choice, and I did, and so I'm pleased. So phew, I'm glad that's over. He's not Opus Dei, and I really actually feel that this is a time that America is going to have to step it up. Because to have a pope who's really standing for compassion, I didn't think the Catholic Church would choose somebody who wasn't likable to the people, because they really need someone who's appealing to the people. They really do. Because the Catholicism, well, in America, Catholicism is like going the way of kind of, you know, bankruptcies in a certain way. So I'm pleased, and I think that my first impression was to feel a shift. And when Pope Francis passed away, I got up in the morning and I heard about it, and I felt a shift, and I mentioned that. We're going to be okay, and now we have even more spiritual support, and that's my take on what happened just a few hours ago. There's so many changes happening so fast. And my favorite thing, I have to show you the picture. that is maybe one of my favorite pictures ever. I should get it framed because I have so many seagulls around here. There's the opportunist seagull, right? The first one to know a pope had been chosen. I just think that's just brilliant. Okay, so we're gonna pull some cards, and it's appropriate that we pull a few cards just to look at how this will be for the world. All right, I hope you're having a good day, and I hope that you remember that tonight we have our guided meditation for Healed America starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a nice day today. I halfway thought that I might do an outdoor video, but it's a bit cumbersome to do that. We'll save that for the even warmer months. Okay, 3 cards about what this portends for the world. Pope Leo. I wonder if he's a Leo. I know that's not how they choose, but I have to look up the history. But it does portend fiery, you know. It's not like a lazy name. What this is going to mean for the world. Okay, the Two of Swords. I think the Italians. Well, clearly it doesn't take a psychic. The Italians are kind of upset because they really wanted an Italian pope. I don't consider this pope American. I consider this pope more like a world guy. So what it's going to mean for the world, well, a lot of people, I really actually feel like a lot of people are upset about this choice just in terms of their identity. Like it's not a black pope, you know, it's not an Opus Dei pope. So there are some people that are kind of not happy about it, but the Chariot, yeah, this is like the Chariot, it happened fast, right? Now I'm getting a sense that they chose quickly, so as, this is my psychic impression, I'm getting an impression that they wanted to hurry up and choose and vote for the right guy before anything could really interfere. Which maybe in the Vatican might be the equivalent of, I'm just guessing, like the equivalent of like a filibuster or something. I feel like they really wanted to make sure they got the right guy in as soon as they could. Like I said, I was very surprised that it happened so quickly. I was giving it like a week, at least. But, you know, that's how things work nowadays. I feel like there was a rush, though, for a reason. Which, I mean, that feeling's coming through so strongly. I almost see it in my head, like, wow, what happened there? I prayed. Okay, let's choose 3 cards about how America will be responding to this. And I'm not talking about the egotistical, you know, MAGA people, because if anything, Pope Leo is going to put this illegitimate administration that's in our government to shame. How it's going to affect America. It's going to kind of connect us to the rest of the world. There's that King of Swords. The King of Swords, I have to tell you, I keep picking up on President Biden's energy with this King of Swords and the world. I think that Biden's going to be invited to some kind of a papal event or something at the Vatican, and we're going to see him a little bit more. He might speak about, because he was close to Pope Francis. He might speak about how he feels. People might be asking him. I'm looking at the effect on America. What the Orange Buffoon is going to have a really tough time with this whole thing. The Six of Pentacles. America's going to do better under this Pope. It's weird. I feel a lot of, there's that word again, compassion. Compassion must be the word of the day. I feel a lot of compassion being sent to the American people, to us. it's almost like this Pope is going to be praying fervently for us. And a shout out to Maria Rodriguez, because I remember her being in the chat and being concerned about who they'll choose, and I assured her, and she's in Chicago, where Pope Leo the 14th was born, Robert Provost. Told you you'd be happy, Maria, if you're watching. Shout out to you. This is hopeful. This is hopeful. While I have you here, we have to pick the nefarious cards up. The other big shift that I feel, and I can use a pendulum to read on this, I think we're going to see Putin losing in the very near future. I will take a look. And I also felt very strongly today military action in terms of stopping the destruction of America. And I feel a lot of energy around the military there. Expect some big news about the military taking charge of some aspect of what's going on with this criminal administration. I won't get into details just yet, but it's a pretty strong hit. And it feels close. I don't see a military parade. And speaking of that, I am going to read on this too. I'm going to read on Putin's military parade. And isn't it interesting that we're hearing about Dumpy wanting a military parade at the same time that guess who's having a military parade? I mean, I know he does this every year, Putin, but it's glaringly obvious what's going on. It's glaringly obvious to the world, to the United States, what's going on. It's undeniably glaringly obvious. So if you have a MAGA person around you, they're just blind and deaf and their brains aren't working. It's so obvious. With a pope that pushes for not cruelty, who criticizes cruelty as a real pope should, I feel a shift. So I'm reading on Putin's parade. Is anyone going to rain something on Putin's parade? I actually feel as though it's going to be a whole lot of expense for Putin's military parade, a whole lot of hullabaloo, and a whole lot of expense for absolutely zero return, -0 returns on the investment of time and munitions and soldiers for this war. It's just like a meh. It's not impressive to anybody. Let's ask the pendulum if I've heard whisperings that Ukraine may attack during that parade. Is that for entertainment purposes only? Once in a great while I say that. It's not really giving me an answer. Will this military parade make Russia look strong? It'll give that appearance. That's why he's doing it. That's why Putin's doing that. Will the military parade in Russia help Putin? Will it help Putin? Not really. Will the military parade in Russia deplete Russia? Is the Kremlin being funded by another country? Yeah. Clearly. is the Kremlin being funded by Iran? It's not Iran. Is it China? No. Is Russia being funded, the Kremlin, by North Korea? Yeah. Which is strange to me, because I would think that they don't have any money to spare. But there's some kind of, it feels like there's some kind of a deal. Some kind of a trade. Let's ask this. Is it weaponry? Yeah, North Korea's giving, I think that's been going on for a while though. North Korea giving Putin weapons in exchange for food, I think. I don't think that's going to last, because both countries are severely depleted, it looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to pull 3 cards about the orange buffoon, and then I'll let you go. I don't want to make these videos too long. All right, the orange buffoon at the present time, whose plan is to inflict as much cruelty on the American people as he possibly can. Let's be frank. That's why I'm glad we have Pope Leo. Thank you, Pope Francis, for guiding the process. The Queen of Swords is Kamala. When I'm reading on Dumpy, 6 of Pentacles, I always get that around him in regards to January 6th. I know it seems like it was a long, long time ago, and when it was happening in 2020, it seemed like the hell would never end, but I do see that his days are numbered. Dumpy's days are numbered. Because with great clarity, this sort of points to the truth about that election being revealed. About the November 5th election being, the truth about it being revealed. The Kremlin meddled. I feel that we're in a time where the Kremlin's falling apart. A little bit. There's been a shift. Can you feel it? There has been a shift. And it's for the good. So do yourself a really nice favor. Take some deep breaths in and hold it, and a longer breath out, and do that a few times. And if it happens to be a pretty day where you are, please go outside and enjoy it. Every once in a while we need a reprise. All right, so take good care of yourself. Eat some good organic food. Eat some fruit. Have a nice salad. Just be really good to yourself. It's really important. Please make sure that you join us tonight for the guided meditation time, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's just a half an hour. Even if you jump on 15 minutes late, we start 15 minutes in with the meditation. So there's that. And we'll talk about what's going on, for the first 15 minutes. And the other thing is, if you can swing either $7.99 a month, $14.99 a month, or $19.99 a month, depending on how much you feel like you'd like to donate to this channel. When you're a member, you have access to free classes. And I'm on day 3 of a class that's based on my book, The 7-Day Key to Living Inspiration and Empowerment. The first 2 days are up. It's going to be 8 days, because the very first day I started it on Tuesday. I just kind of went over the introduction and how to use the book. So it will change your life. I'm really thrilled to be doing the book this way, to be reading it and doing the exercises and this a little guided meditation. They're about 20 minutes long, just like this. And it can change your life for the better. So I know a lot about this stuff, so check it out, and thank you to my members, and thank you to all of you. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you tonight. Namaste. Abbiamo un Papa. Bye.